Welcome to our final week in Hanoi and also our final week in Vietnam. If you saw our last video, we were in the Hanoi Old Quarter and we've come just a few kilometers away to a community, a Vinh Home community called Ocean Park. The best way I can describe Ocean Park is that it's a mega planned community, and there are actually 3 different Ocean Park communities, 1, 2, and 3. We're staying in Ocean Park 1, and we thought today that we would head down to this area called Grand World that's between Ocean Park 2 and Ocean Park 3. Now, what is kind of cool about this area is there are buses here. Some buses you pay for, and some buses that just take you through Ocean Park are free. So we're going to try to catch one of those free buses, head down to Grand World, and explore it. It's supposedly really cool, really unique. We're looking forward to it. We also are in a bit of a time crunch because Hurricane Yagi is approaching, and we expect that it's going to start to rain sometime later today. It's Friday, or perhaps Friday night, and it's probably going to rain the entire time we're here after that. So we've got maybe 8 hours of sun or sunny clouds, and that's about it for us. So we're going to try to make the best of our time here and enjoy it. Fun fact though, as we've been researching Yagi, because it's a pretty big storm, it's actually a
Super Typhoon.
A Super Typhoon, and I'm like, what is a typhoon? What is the difference between a typhoon and a hurricane? And apparently, a typhoon is classified a typhoon when it's in the northern Pacific, and a hurricane is in the southern Atlantic. I guess that's the only difference, and I think they're both cyclones. Anyway, let's get going and start exploring this area. Vietnam, known for its rich culture, stunning natural beauty, delicious cuisine, friendly locals, and vibrant cities. We're taking you on an incredible 55-day epic train adventure from the vibrant heart of Saigon to the soulful streets of Hanoi. Join us as we explore stunning landscapes, serene beaches, frenetic city streets, and ancient citadels. From the bustling streets of Saigon to the historic charm of Hanoi, this trip is filled with unforgettable moments. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. Okay, so we have arrived in Ocean Park 2 and 3. We're at a place called K-Town, which is right next to Grand World. These are some pretty massive outdoor shopping areas. The buses going down here are pretty cool. They're really new modern buses, and they have free Wi-Fi on them. So it's actually really kind of comfortable, fully air conditioned. I mean, far nicer than I was expecting. They're really, really comfortable. And you probably are wondering, why did we come to this place in Hanoi? We just thought we'd try something different. If you saw our video in Saigon, we stayed in another Vinh Home's property, and it was pretty nice. We thought, a lot of people are moving to these areas, so why don't we check it out? It also gives us a little bit more space to stretch out in rather than a hotel, to get some travel planning done. And I've got a ton of video editing I need to do with this trip that we're on. So it gives us time to just kind of stretch out, have a little bit more space, and also check out a newer part of the city that we weren't really that familiar with. So let's get headed through K-Town. We're gonna take a walk through here, and then we're gonna head over to Grand World and check out that area. It's very interesting. Stay tuned. So the reality is that if we come at night, this place would probably be a lot more lively, but since we're in a bit of a typhoon time crunch, we decided to come during the day. If we can get out here at night, we will try to do that, but I'm not confident that it's not going to be pouring rain the rest of the time we're here, so we thought we'd get out while we have at least some sun and take a look at this place. Now, K-Town, if it's not abundantly clear, is sort of like a Korea-themed area of Ocean Park, and There are a lot of restaurants here. A lot of them are not quite open yet because it's fairly early in the morning. But it sounds like it can get lively in the evening. We're gonna head over this massive bridge with, I think, maybe glass elevators over to the Grand World, which again, you'll see in a second. I think it's pretty cool. I feel like we need to take the glass elevators up to the second floor, even though I could probably use the stairs. But let's take the glass elevators.
I'm sure this place is super lively at night. I'm kind of glad we're here during the daytime so we can really see everything and not just be dodging a lot of people. But so far it has kind of a Las Vegas feel to it. It's kind of fun and whimsical, so I'm kind of curious to see what else we find.
So we've got K-Town behind us, and then in front of me is Mega World. So let's go check it out. So if it's not abundantly clear, Grand World is a Venice-themed shopping area, and it's pretty big, it's pretty cool. Again, we're here probably too early. They just started these gondola rides, but I don't know, it's not actually a bad day to be out because it's a little bit cooler than it normally is. So we're gonna just walk down this canal and explore the area. Hopefully we'll find something to eat, and we've been planning to do something very specific the entire time we're in Vietnam. I'm hoping today is going to be the day that we do that thing, so stay tuned. I read online that there's a big show here, and I think it's every night at 9 o'clock, right in front of this massive pirate ship behind me. It sounds like it's pretty big, actually, a pretty big production. They have like a lot of people here, and it's a pretty big deal. So we'd originally wanted to come out, but I think that's probably not going to happen. So we'll see, but my guess is we're probably not going to see the show. Maybe we'll just have to watch it on YouTube.
Ever since we started our trip in Asia, which was here in Hanoi, we've been seeing this store that kind of like an ice cream, bubble tea kind of store. And I've always wanted to try it. And now that we're towards the end of our trip, I thought, okay, we have to try it. So we found one here today, and we're gonna go in and give it a try. Now, we, in our minds, have been saying it wrong. We Googled it, and I think you pronounce it Mishu. Sorry if that is totally wrong. I think it's a Chinese company, but let's go check it out and finally get something.
Okay, so that was pretty good. Not quite what I was expecting. I got a brown sugar bubble tea sundae. So it's basically brown sugar sort of mixture with boba and soft serve ice cream, which actually had a really unique flavor. It's pretty good. I like it. I would go back again.
Yeah, and I liked mine too. I got a kind of like soft serve sundae with crushed Oreos and some crushed sugar cone, like ice cream sugar cone on the bottom. Really kind of hit the spot. We're getting a little hungry. I don't know if this is an equivalent of, say, like an American Dairy Queen, but they are all over the place in Asia. We've seen them in just about every country we've been to.
Yeah, so we've done it. Check that off the list. Now let's continue on our way. Okay, well, we're gonna head back now. I think that was pretty fun. I mean, a bit unusual.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. It's always fun to come out and see kind of like this local stuff that you don't necessarily see in YouTube videos. So we enjoy doing little offbeat things like this. But we are gonna head back now and pick up maybe some rations for the Typhoon and call it a day.
Super Typhoon Yagi. It started coming in last week through the Philippines and across some Chinese islands. It's been a few very interesting hours, and we just found out from our host, who's been quite lovely here in our Airbnb, that there's a chance the electricity might be cut off. So we're kind of gathering a couple things. We did get some couple 5-liter bottles of water, and we have some food we can have in case we lose electricity, because we are going to be here for a few more days.
Okay, here's a quick update on Super Typhoon Yagi. So yesterday we did a little bit of recording, and there was pretty torrential rain that hit us, which I think was sort of the first part of the storm, but we're not really sure. And we had some trees uprooted. I mean, it was pretty crazy. Yeah. Today, the storm has kind of gradually progressed into Hanoi, and it's been very, very windy. The wind has been pushing rain like through our windows, and so we're getting leaks like in the little seams of the windows, and we're doing the best we can with towels to try to catch as much water as we can. And it sounds like the rest of the building, other tenants are having similar issues. Okay, so quick update. It's now about 8:30, and I think we're in the eye of the typhoon. Earlier in the day, we just had the wind and rain pounding against the windows. The water was just blasting in and just dripping like a faucet
Down the walls. It's
now it seems like that has stopped completely. I didn't think that the windows would be like sieves with water just pouring in. So that's been a bit of an unexpected development. We've been really lucky, I mean, compared to a lot of people. And there are a lot of trees down and people that have been injured from debris and roofs that have been, ripped off and flown through the air. And so I think we've been pretty lucky. So this morning we came downstairs after the super typhoon to take a look at the damage, and it doesn't look like too much building infrastructure is damaged. A lot of, I'd say a lot of sandbags, people are pretty smart about that, but a lot of trees have been uprooted.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because even the benches have been toppled over. So while it didn't seem like there was, it didn't seem as windy as it was when we were upstairs last night in our place, but clearly it was very windy.
And after dark, obviously we couldn't see what was going on other than the rain just being lashed against the windows.
We've spent the last day or so walking around our complex, getting ready to leave Hanoi because today is our last day. We've been surveying the damage, and it's sad to say that there's been a lot more damage than we initially thought. We've seen a number of people leaving the complex with their belongings, which we assume means there's flooding. We've seen several
businesses
that have had roofs collapsed and other kind of water damage. And then across Vietnam as a whole, northern Vietnam, there's been pretty substantial flooding, landslides. There's even been, we saw on the news, a bridge collapsed. So this typhoon has been pretty devastating. As little as it affected us, it's affecting a lot of people. Yeah. And it's a little bittersweet that today is our last day in Vietnam. We have to leave tomorrow morning very early. We really had a great time here, but it's hard to be super upbeat about that given the impacted people here. There's been a pretty substantial impact, and I'm sure the country will persevere. We've tried to share the ups and downs of our journey through Vietnam, and hopefully this last week we've been able to share some real true perspective about typhoons and their impact on countries and cities. So we will be back in a future episode. Thank you for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.